Bill Yaley, Mad Scientist Lab. Welcome back. Since I am working on a whole list of projects in that one book, I wanted to also talk to you guys about basically how I built my entire rig. I mean, I've built the guitars, I've built the effects, and I built the amp. About the only thing I haven't done is like build my own speaker cabinet, and that's probably next. So, but anyway, I've always been interested in tube amps and how they work. My fascination with tube amps, it really started with this. Now, I've been playing guitar since 1977 or so. So this amp is older than I am. It's from about the 1950s. I got this thing at a flea market for $10, and the guy says, hey, it doesn't work, and I figure it's a tube amp. I mean, all I had to do was change the tubes out, and lo and behold, it worked. It sounded phenomenal. It has a 12AX7 and an EL84 output tube. It was never meant to be a guitar amp, but when I plugged my guitar into this thing, turned it up all the way, it was the greatest sounding blues amp I had ever heard. I always thought, man, this would be a great amp to take out on a gig or to do a small, recording session somewhere else. Recording session isn't that big of a deal, but to gig with this thing, I was terrified to take it out of the house because I have one of these, and if I had to find a replacement for it, I'm not sure how much that would cost me. So I found an internet forum for antique radio enthusiasts. So I was able to get on there and basically ask, hey, does anybody have a schematic for this? It's been so long now. All I remember is that the guy was from Denmark, and he sent me a copy of the Verstakerbox 4 schematic. There's some strange things going on with this transformer. I mean, I don't know, it handles multiple impedances. It has like a 3 ohm out and a 5 ohm out, but then it also has this little bit which, I don't know, feeds back, and I don't know, it's like a negative feedback loop or a positive feedback loop, so maybe a bootstrap or something. Yeah, I was in over my head. So for years, I just thought about doing it, dreamt about it, and never did. So the schematic was no help in figuring out the old amp. This is a book by Dave Hunter, and his book, The Guitar Amp Handbook. The Guitar Amp Handbook, this is pretty much a deep dive into how the amplifiers were made in the early days. And there's little pieces of schematics in here. The actual photo of the internal guts of the thing. I mean, that's just gorgeous. Plus, there's this whole section in the back where he builds his own custom amp. What is it? The 2-stroke, and he has this big. So that right there was inspiring, and I'm like, I think I could do this. Just it doesn't look that complicated. The only thing I was afraid of was high voltage because, it's high voltage. It will shock you. Warning, read before trying. Yeah, you'll probably get shocked. Big capacitors like this hold a charge for a long time. And, yeah, discharging them can be kind of frightening. I burnt a couple of screwdrivers in the process of that. Anyhow, in some future video, I'll try to step through how I created this monster, and I don't know, you can try building one for yourself and make your own sound. All right, that's it from the floor of the Mad Scientist Lab. I'm Bill Yaley, and I'll talk to you later.